Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a pretty grim looking rack, a long way from a bingo. Should I change? Probably not. If opponent plays, there'll be another vowel to play through. So I should be able to sort it out. But what if opponent changes? Well, oh, okay, they don't change. That's a great start for opponent. So I would have callow through an A. That would certainly sort the rack out. Doesn't score very much. What about column 11? Double lane. I certainly want to play off C, L, and W. Well, not necessarily the C. So what about trowel? Let me see what this scores. 18 points. C and L is a decent rack leave. Callow, 13 points. And my concern with trowel is really this triple letter square. So I can easily resolve that just by changing it to wordle. This O with a double word square is not as dangerous as an O next to a triple letter square where a J or a Z could go. I'm going with this. Great, this looks a lot closer to a bingo. But do I have one? Is clouter good? Wow, it might be. Does it play? I don't think so. And sated doesn't take anything in front. So let me consider the floaters. What about an A? Oh, good grief. 119 point bingo for opponent. What a fabulous start for them. Plenty of floaters. Can I reply in kind? So, floating A. I note with a T I would have courtlet. But A, have the auto prefix. No, not seeing anything. What about D? That could be tripled. Just the U, which is dampening bingo prospects, I feel. Not seeing anything with the D. What about an I? Very expensive miss if there is a bingo here and I don't see it. O. X. A already considered. N. No. T. Well, that's courtlet, and I'm not aware of an anagram. D already considered. So I have clear out through an A. Phew, there is a bingo. Clear out. I don't think that has an anagram. Doesn't get doubled, but I feel it keeps me in the game. But if there is a row A play, then clear out is, well, significantly inferior. So this rack plus a D. No, not seeing one. Let me just briefly consider the pairs of letters, O and W. Could end wort. No. X and O. No. A and R. Wow, A and R. No, don't think so. Let me get clear out down, and it only plays here. And I draw the Q with the U, which is good news. Plus there's a floating U in clear out. I've got Kibler without using the U. And this is a wide open board. Unfortunately, B and V don't go well with the Q. 39 points for opponent, and I don't have an E for going next to the W, so I don't have a big Q play in column 12. And opponent's taken out the spot I was eyeing up for, well, I was going to say QUI and then something, but there may not be a something. So what can I do with this rack? Certainly too good to change. I'm not seeing anywhere for Kibler. So what about the U of clear out? And I don't have to play the Q straight away. If I could play B and V and retain Q and U, that would be fine. So I have Quail, 28 points. It would be nice to get over the 30. So I have Quail in row F. That's quite nice. Is there anything which plays off a B or a V? Because I'm very unlikely to be bingoing next turn. Look at this, I trail by 140. So a QV play or a QB play? Nope, not seeing one. So this is what I am seeing, Quail, which takes an S in front, 4 S's to come. But I trail, so I think that volatility is worth adding to the mix. Let me play Quill instead of Quail, not because of the S front hook, but just to have a better rack leave. Yep, Quill for 34. Well, super non-bingo-y, but I do have vowels to help play off these scoring tiles. And if I can keep scoring 30 plus, I may be able to stay within a reach of opponent. And this is a wide open board with 4 S's and 1 blank to come. Quill doesn't take an S in front. It's Squilla, which is good. Now I do have an E for going next to the W, so maybe I have a play in column 12. Well, I have card, K-A-E-D, that's quite nice. It would be nice to play off one or both of B and V, but I can't see a way of doing that. R only takes an E, and that's already been used for the W. But if I do play card, then my B can go next to we to make web. So what if that spot's taken? It is quite a hot one. What else is available? I have baked on my rack, but nowhere for it. I think balked is good. That's quite nice, getting rid of B and K. I don't have anything which goes in front of U, so I don't have a vertical play in column 5. Wow, what a sensational start for opponent. Ansated and then Dioxanes getting the X doubled. Absolutely fabulous stuff. It's the sort of start you wish for in every game. Oh wow. And this is how you would like it to continue, and another bingo for opponents, and that's taken out my card spot. So, what to do? Just 170 points behind. Well, I mentioned balked. Maybe that's the play. 26 points, which is, well, it's not stellar, but it's okay. My V could go under the E next turn in column 8, but if opponent plays there, well, they could be creating floaters. Yeah, I am going with this. And I draw an S, but F and V not great, plus duplicate tiles. However, I have favour in row L, keeping double NS. That makes good inroads into this rack. What if that's blocked? Well, no E for going next to the W, still 7 of those to come. What about a play in column 8, as I was mentioning? Don't think I have one. What about a play in row L? I've got FA. Well, the best I could do in row L is favours, burning the S, but that may be worth doing. It's going to score well. But my preference would be favour. Well, that's where opponents played into, creating a 9-timer triple column. But what am I going to do? Let me see what favours scores. 42 points, that's decent. All the N's have gone, so this rack cleave isn't going to deteriorate into a triple N. I'm creating a new hotspot above the A, with the Z still to come. That could end up on my rack. Opponent surely is going to be concerned with the opening they've created. I wonder if they played Inti just to sort out an I problem. There are still 4 to come. But is favours the play? Rackley's pretty rubbish, but the score's excellent. And I'm not seeing any play in row L which burns an N. And it's good to get rid of the F and the V. So I'm going with this. Great, I draw the second blank. So, do I have anything this rack plus an I? Must be close. Wow, an opponent has not blocked that, so I'm tempted to either play in column 1 or try and open up a second triple lane, especially since I have the blank. 11 minutes on my clock, which is good news. So I'm considering this rack plus an I. And how might it end? Nothing obvious. But I will play any bingo. I'm not holding out for a 9-timer. So E, this is a retain rack plus N and P. So a particularly shameful miss if there is a bingo here and I don't see it. Well, so this is an ING ending with Prant. Not seeing anything. Double I. Nope. So this rack plus an I. Anti-pawn. Oh, and that just misses out on being a triple. That's a shame. So this rack plus an I. 10 minutes on my clock. No, not seeing anything. Is there really no bingo here? Not that I can see. So, floating U. Great score for opponent, 46 points. I don't think OSA is good. I think it's OSE. But what about doing this? Pant opening up a second triple lane. That's quite exciting, isn't it? Sitting here with the blank N and R, neither of which can be duplicated. Plenty of E's to come. Yes. Let the good times roll. Pant for 18. Oh, wow. So, this is even better than I expected, but is there a 9-timer triple here? Even if there is, it may not be enough to win. I trail by 150. So let me first do... Oh, opponent's taken out column 1, but I have column 15 and I have entreats. But look at there's 72 points for opponent. So normally a 9-timer is end of the game for opponent. I think it's just going to reduce the margin from its current standing of 220. So here it is, entreats, and I do want to put the S in last place to maximise my chances of bingoing again in row O. 122 points. Yeah. Okay, so I still trail after that 9-timer triple by over 100. So magnificent performance by opponent. What can I do with this rack? Well, not very much. Certainly no bingo in row O that I can see. 13 tiles in the bag. I've drawn an S, which could be useful for hooking Zainab. So really I'd like to sort this rack out, and I think the best way of doing that is perhaps playing Vigo in row B. 33 for opponent. 10 tiles left. Yeah. There's row O as a bingo lane for hooking Zainab. There's row O at the bottom ending in S. There's column 14. Not good for an S ending word because SE isn't good, but it's still a bingo lane. Floating U and I in Quill. So, well, I'm going to obstruct those, but this is what I'm thinking of. And Vigo may not be good. Maybe a town in Spain. Well, let's see if it's good first of all. And it's not. It's Viga, which is good. But it's Void Challenge. Let me count the remaining vowels. 8 out of 17. Slightly vowel dry. The A is a bingo-y tile, so really I'd like to play off O, O, and V. 7 minutes on my clock. But playing off OVV is not easy. So second best would be playing off V and O. And possibly the G. Gov and Vog both good. Wow, Jag is good, but I don't have an E for pose. Avo is good. So I could do this. 14 points. Well, I think that's just too big of a rack cleave. Too many vowels in the rack cleave. I've got this, for example, for 15. I am burning the last A, but one less vowel on my rack. What about retaining the O and playing goo? Here, 16 points. Opponent may be drawn to row H. And if they're not, then I have Viga. But if they are drawn to row H, it leaves alone row O. So this is the plan. Goo for 16. Great, well I'm glad I got rid of the O's because I've drawn another one. Nothing with the S. No 7-letter bingo with this rack. Co-varies through an R. 7 tiles in the bag. Still one S in the open for opponent to hook Zainab. Interesting. If row H remains available, I could play just Vogue, leaving a pretty decent 5-letter set. Just looking at Vow in column 7, but Nova fails because Axie not good. Opponents created quite a hot spot in column 13 with all these high-scoring tiles, and OH takes an O. But the trouble I have is nothing going to the right of WE. Okay, so opponent plays after quite a while. 8 minutes on their clock, 5 on mine. They play Gig. 5 tiles in the bag, not very bingo-y. The S is still out there. I had noticed that V, though, is available, but I can't see that that's particularly good for me. Five tiles in the bag. So this is what I was thinking of. 10 points, which I wasn't willing to entertain when there was this triple word square available, but I am minded to play it now. It's not going to win the game, but a bingo might halve the deficit. 4 minutes on my clock. Very hard for opponent to play in row N without opening row O. 5 vowels to come. If I draw 2 of them, then it's not bingo-y. But this feels pretty lame. But what are my options? Avo? Well, the A is bingo-y. I really like the A. I could play... Well, no, I can't play Gov. So it's V and O, which I certainly want to play. And I don't want to block bingo lanes. I could play Nav for 25. Nav for 25 versus over for 10. Is the A really 15 points better than the O? No, it's not. And C and O do have some synergy, especially with an M to come because of the com prefix. Okay, I am going with Nav. Well, I don't think I would have been in good shape whatever I'd played if I was drawing the F, because it's non-bingo. It goes badly with the C. But 3 tiles left. Is opponent going to empty the bag? Although I have the S for hooking Zainab, I don't have anything good using that. I can't get any big tile doubles. Just checking the floaters, T and S and B. Wow, Bio Faces is good, I think. Now, opponents emptied the bag, leaving themselves with Smiled, which plays nicely in row O, and scoring 38 points, plus smashing the 500-point barrier. Does opponent have a second out? They do. They have mildest. So I can't stop both. So this is my last play. Yep, just not seeing a bingo. I've got bio and B as prefixes, but not seeing anything with that. So I have ISO in row O, but it would be nice to play off S or V, F or C rather. So I can play Ceef for 25. Yeah, and I am going to. So I'm sure opponent is going out. I've set up misled for them, and they have mildest onto the T. And probably other options. If they don't, I've got eco and go. And eco and F, so I am certainly going out. Yep, opponent goes out. And the final score, 390 for me, 544 for opponent, a winning margin of 154 points. So well done to opponent. Let's see what I missed. Wow, brutal stuff. So opponents go first with this fabulous rack, and they play Unsated. My rack, I played Trowel for 18, Crawl available, same score. But I think CL slightly better rack leave. Fantastic play by opponent, 119 points, so I am massively behind. Oh wow, there was a row A bingo, Clottured. And you can see here, clear out for 64 is 20 points inferior, so that was a miss. Opponent plays Wiry. And now I play Quill for 34, which looks fine. Great spot by opponent of Grandeur, not easy to see. My rack. So I played Balked for 26, keeping AV. Yeah, possibly Nav keeping Baked would have been better. Very similar score. But you would expect to score quite well somewhere with Baked, even if you're not bingoing, which is less so for AV. But that should be reflected in the rack values. So AV, I think, is going to be negative, probably about -4 or 5. Baked, what's that going to be? Maybe fractionally positive, but less than 5. So yeah, possibly 2 or 3. But even if it's, given that the scores are practically identical, any superiority of Baked over AV is going to make Nav a better play. Now, this is where opponent plays Inti, and you can see why, just addressing the vowel issue. My rack and Favors, or Favors, is my play. I know people have commented on my pronunciation of Spanish words, which I accept is pretty appalling. But I think when you learn words, you don't always know for sure that they're Spanish or know for sure what the pronunciation is. And once you initially learn it one way, you tend to stick with the pronunciation you have in mind. And certainly with the J being pronounced as H in Spanish words, it can be helpful to retain the distinction. For example, the word Bajada can be spelt B-A-H-A-D-A and also B-A-J-A-D-A. So you're not distinguishing them if you learn them with the correct pronunciation. Whereas if, as I do, you learn them as Bajada and Bajada, however much of a solecism that is, it does help to distinguish them. Anyway, I play Favaz for 42. And opponent plays Joy. Now, I felt I was close to a bingo here. Well, I'm not. B2, Trank. Okay, well, this is where I do my strategic play of opening up a second 9 timer. So There may be a sacrifice of 10 points, but I think that's well worth taking. Now, great spot by opponent of Zainab for 72. And I have this fabulous rack. So I have entreats for 122 and other triple 9 timers available. But it's not good enough. I still trail by 100. Opponent plays hay. Now I play goo for 16. Why do I do that? Yeah, there's 2 O's to come. I couldn't see a way of getting rid of the V with the O's. So the problem tiles are G-O-O-V, and goo gets rid of some of them. So I still like my play. Look at this rack leave, G-I-O-O-S, super unpropitious. Opponent plays gig. Now, well, do I have a bingo? No, but I did have A1 voices. Oh wow, Squill is good. Gosh. Well, I would only have 6 tails on my rack after that, but 57 points, pretty decent. I thought it was Squiller and not Squill, but it is Squill. So I play Nav for 25, keeping alive my bingo prospects. Opponent plays Moop, also missing the Squill hook. Wow, which remains available for FICOs. Gosh. And now the bag's empty, so... Wow, that would have been the play. Instead, I play Seif, and opponent goes out with Mildest. So, what a game. Absolutely brutal stuff. Fabulous play by opponent. Great bingo spots of Ansated and Dioxanes, and a superb Z score as well, plus plenty of other high-scoring plays. So, absolutely impossible to catch, even with my 9-timer triple. So many congratulations to opponent on their victory. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.